I definitely want to introduce Coach Matt O'Brien. Coach Matt O'Brien is the head coach at Southwestern College in Kansas. He's going to give us about 10 minutes of his time in talking about leadership and culture. And the reason he was chosen is he's been a good friend of mine for several years, but he has had massive success. I traveled with him to Europe and had a chance to really observe him coaching. He's an outstanding coach. He's done a great job at Southwestern College in Kansas. He's had 11 straight winning seasons, 6 straight 20-win seasons. He's been to the Sweet 16. He's been ranked in the top 10 of the nation several times. He's been Coach of the Year. And what I really like about all his accolades is, I mean, I could talk on and on about all the things that he's done. He was the Kansas basketball coaches College Coach of the Year a year ago, which is pretty impressive when you think about the Bill Selfs of the world and Bruce Weber and everybody else over there. So I'm going to put the spotlight on you, Matt. All the pressure is on you, my friend, and I'm going to give you the floor, man. So take it away, and we're looking forward to hearing from you.
All right, Richie, thanks a lot. Really appreciate the opportunity to share, and I'm looking forward to learning from everybody else today. And we don't have that much time, so I'm going to get right to it here. This is how we created the vision of our basketball program. We're trying to build a championship culture by build, winning, and graduate. So everything we're tagging when we're tagging stuff on social media, we're talking to recruits, or we're talking to our players. We're talking about build, win, and graduate. We want to build boys to men. We want to win. We're not trying to sugarcoat it. We're out there to win. We describe on what we're going to try and do to accomplish that, and then graduate. Fortunately, we've had a lot of success graduating our players in 12 years. We've only had 2 guys that haven't been able to finish out their degree. So we're really fortunate to have all of our guys get a degree when they're here at Southwestern. I'm just going to share a few of the things that we do leadership-wise and what we do to mentor our players. But this has definitely been a process. When I started out 12 years ago at Southwestern, I really felt like leadership was a weakness of mine. And, it took a lot of hard work, critical feedback. That wasn't always fun to get the feedback of me not doing well, but it's something that we've really, really worked on as a staff to try to create it as a strength for our staff and our program. First thing I wanted to share with you guys is our mentorship program. And what we do is we've selected 12 guys, former players that have played for us that will mentor our guys. And this program's really helped us a lot this year. We just started it this year. It was kind of stressful getting it started, figuring out what you're going to do, but we ended up making it, really simple, and our players have liked it. And what's been really cool is our alum have liked it. Our former players have really liked it. When I first started out contacting our players, I thought, they might think, what's in it for them? What is coach asking me to do now? He asked me to do all kinds of stuff when I was playing for him. Now he's asking me to do more, but the feedback and, the response from our players was humbling and awesome. Everybody was willing to give back to the program and excited to be a part of it. We tried to make it really simple. And so I just text them a few things of what they needed to do, the mentors needed to do. And we started out with the requirement for mentors to just text or call 1 or 2 guys on the team. We'd set those guys up, twice per semester, watch 1 game online, or come to a game in Winfield, Kansas, to the field house and watch us play live. And what was great is 90% of our mentors did way more with weekly texts and calls, came to or watched online more than half of our games. They're tweeting about it, creating a buzz, which any of you that are involved in small college basketball know that, anytime you can create some kind of buzz on social media and get followers and people supporting your program, it's really important. So it's really helped us a lot. How we've kind of matched up the guys is we've matched them up with, areas of the country or maybe a job that they're interested in. We've got 2 of these players are professional basketball players, the guys at the top. So if we have guys on our team that are looking to play pro, we'd match them up with a mentor who's currently playing pro. We might match them up according to major. So if they're a business major, matching them up with somebody, and they've had a lot of helpful conversations and selecting teachers to take classes from, going through their course schedule, all kinds of things. And we've had issues with our guys. I've been able to say, hey, call your mentor. And the mentors have really been able to help us. The other thing a program that we have that I wanted to share with you is our leadership team. So I started out as a head coach like 15 years ago now. In the first 5 or 6 years, we're just picking 2 guys. Hey, you 2 guys are the captains. You guys are the 2 guys I think could be great leaders. And then halfway through the season, I'd pull them in. You're not doing a very good job. You need to do a better job of setting the tone and being a good example. And what I figured it out, and it took me a long time, is we've got to teach them how to be leaders. We've got to teach them how to serve. We got to be intentional about doing this. And that's what we did about 6 or 7 years ago. We've been really intentional building a team of leaders. And so this picture here is the leadership team that we had this year. There was 5 guys. We've had anywhere from 4 to 7 guys on our leadership team that we're pouring into. We're meeting with these guys once a week, and we're covering all kinds of scenarios and different things and trying to build them up to be leaders. And then, right here, I described what their responsibilities are. We're basically teaching them how to serve. That's the big thing. They're cleaning up after practice. They're making sure the locker room's clean. They're doing stuff like cleaning out the bus after the games. They're doing all those leadership things. And they also do some fun things where they're picking out the uniforms and doing planning activities for their teammates. But the big thing that we're trying to get them to do is learn how to serve. And I think that's something that needs to be taught. We usually have the meetings are once a week. And, most of the time they're in my office, and I've been surprised on how much they like being in the office in that small setting where it's informal, and we bring them lunch there and they seem to really like that. So they feel like they're getting a good deal when they come and see us. And, we've really had a lot of success of building relationships with this leadership team and then having that translate to the rest of the program, building our culture. This is the only quote I wanted to share with you because I really think it's helpful in this regard. Culture precedes winning. It's not tacked on afterthought. We've been fortunate enough to have a lot of success, but we didn't start winning championships until we really started focusing on the leadership. We didn't, until we had this leadership team, we weren't able to take the next step of competing for, where we've been to back-to-back Sweet 16s, where we've been nationally ranked for the last five years. We built the leadership, and then the winning came. It wasn't the other way around. This is how we started out with the curriculum of the leadership team. If any of you are familiar with Jeff Jansen, he's got like the leadership manual, team captain manual. He's got all kinds of resources. But when I didn't know what I was doing, we just started out. I just grabbed that book. I got all the chapters lined out, and I found different administrators and coaches to help present a chapter of this leadership book each week. And that's how we started. And having other people involved was great. The administrators and my boss knew that we were really focusing on this, and it kind of helped create a buzz of leadership around our program. But now that we've been able to, have a lot more experience with it in our 6th year of doing this, we've kind of created our own content where we're just going through scenarios and ways for our guys to serve and kind of teaching them through each scenario what they should do and say, how they should treat their teammates, what tone they should use, when they should communicate with their teammates, whether it's after practice, during practice. It's a lot more simple, and as most coaches know, it's a lot harder to keep things simple, but we've been able to do that. This is just one of probably one of the most valuable things during practice that our leadership team helps us with. When I first started, I would, if I was going to do anything, I would say, hey, any feedback or guidance to our players would be, hey, you got to lead by example. And now we give them specific things they need to do to lead by example. We show them how to lead ahead of time before practice. We show them how to do it, the tone that they need to use. And I think it really carries over and helps us on the court when we're teaching concepts as well. They also created one of my practice commitments this year, which was being a truth teller. And they wanted me to tell everybody the truth and hold everybody accountable all year long. And I was able in a office setting and a small group setting, be able to tell them what that was going to entail, how much energy that was going to take from the coaches to be able to do that, and that they would need to buy in. And we did get them to buy into that when we told them the truth in front of their teammates. the leadership team especially would respond well. And if one of their teammates didn't respond well, I knew I could count on the leadership team to go over there and talk to them and let them know that the coaches had their best interests at heart. But I'll cover just a couple of things that one of our players would do, like Jaron at the bottom. One of his jobs this year was shrink, stay, stunt. And that's basically just our ball screen coverage in the corner. We don't want to come off the corner and give up an easy three. We want to stay there. So every single time we're running a ball screen drill or we're in ball screen defense, he's in the corner. He's yelling shrink, stay, stunt as loud as he can, and he's demonstrating it, going full go each time. And when he's off the court, he's right there in one of the corners in the ball screen, and he's yelling shrink, stay, stunt. And then when the guys come off, particularly the younger guys, he's teaching everybody exactly the technique, what they need to say, why they need to say it. And I felt like that was really valuable. Our post players, and it was Zoe, he was in charge of pointing to the passer after a score. He did it every time. And then he was great at holding people accountable. And he would, if they didn't point, he'd say, hey, we got a point. And then he'd talk to them on the side and tell them why we're doing it. We're trying to build up team camaraderie. And so these things, 2 small commitments, if they only did these things, we wouldn't have great leadership. But when we started with these things, they learned how to do this well, and then they branch off and do more and more and more. But I think it's important as coaches to give them something specifically they can do, teach them how to do it, and have some success. So real quickly, just a couple of 2 different things we do. To start the season, we'll have a grit week. And so instead of like a gut week or hell week where we used to call it, we call it grit week, so that we're really trying to focus on teaching our guys what grit means. So every day we'll talk about what grit means for that week. And then we're pointing out grit every opportunity we get. Another thing that I think is helpful to us is, instead of senior day, or most of us have senior day, we have senior week. We try to make things fun. We do dunk contests. We bring lunch to our seniors during senior week. The coaches go buy them lunch and bring it to them. So we try and make it as fun as possible. The picture of this guy he's actually just wearing my glasses during the free throw contest. I made everybody wear my glasses. And so everybody laughs and has a good time, and we try and make it fun. So I'm proud of what we've been able to do leadership-wise with our program. Our staff is highly involved in it. Both have had the same assistant for 10 years, and he's highly involved in helping build the culture as well as our graduate assistant, who does a great job. So I'm really proud of what we've been able to accomplish, but know that it's a work in process, and you just got to keep working on it every day. My contact information is up here, so if anybody'd like to visit with me about any of this, feel free to contact me on my cell or email. I'm just thankful for the opportunity to share.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, so Coach O'Brien, so like with your culture, with having the alumni in your mentorship program, how do your alumni value into still being part of that culture once they're still done playing with staying involved with those current players?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Good question. It's been humbling. It's been awesome. I mentioned when I first was asking the guys, I was thinking they were going to kind of be bothered, like, what do I want now? I was always asking them to do stuff when they were playing for us, but they really bought in, and I think they felt honored to be a part of it. I think, if other coaches tried it, you might be surprised on how much it means to alumni to still get to be a part of it. And I thought about it myself. If my alma mater called me and asked me to be a part of something like that, I'd be honored. Coach, thanks for the question. I also liked your comments about building the culture. I agree with you on inclusion. I think that's a big one, about having everybody feel included in the program and the culture.
Yeah, Matt, can you talk about, this is Adam Jacobson from CBO. Can you talk about the questions you ask yourself and your evaluation you do of yourself in being a leader and then developing a leader? So kind of like your self-evaluation process that you go through for that.
Well, what I did was, it was about 7 years ago, I hired a character coach. We didn't have a big budget, but I took a percentage of the budget, and I basically hired someone just to mentor me. And so he watched me in all the games, and he watched them online or came in person. went to 4 or 5 of our practices. It was actually William Tisdale was the person. He's Wayman Tisdale, the former OU player. It's his brother. He mentored me, and I paid him, but he mentored me for 4 years. And so I'm getting, just awesome feedback from somebody, and critical feedback of things I needed to work on. My body language, he pointed out my body language to me. He actually clipped it out on his phone and sent it to me, some of my bad body language. And then, I would always just go through scenarios with him of how things went in practice. And it was amazing on how he helped me become a better leader. So I don't have like 5 or 6 questions that I ask myself after the season. But I'm trying to get feedback from my boss, my athletic director, and then I'm reaching out to other people, former players now, the mentors. I reach out to them and say, when you're watching the game, how do you think I'm doing? And they'll give me honest and good feedback.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Coach O'Brien, Rob Garlington. Hey, I don't necessarily have a question, but I'd love to, if you could share your slide presentation from the beginning. And you had a lot of meat in there that we might have missed out on just from time.
This one might be interesting. We have a Boys to Men program. This is just a booklet that I found. And I found a speaker actually locally that came in and went through, you can see the topics there: personal responsibility, insulting language, how to treat women respectfully. We brought those folks in. If you Google Coaching Boys into Men program playbook, you can find that playbook. And again, that's content to take your players through character building stuff. I'm always looking for good content that I can basically plug and play. We do a lot, I think, in building a culture, the community service. We do a ton of community service. And, at first when we started doing it, I was doing it just to get us out there in the community and try and build a fan base, but it ended up being our best team builder. And so we do reading programs in the community, and we call it our community service tour, where we're going through some characteristics of good character, and then do a dunk contest and that kind of thing. If there aren't any more questions.
Hey, Coach, from the beginning of the program, of the mentor program to now, have you seen an increase in the number of former players who are participating as mentors, or has it been pretty steady across the?
It's just, I've fortunately, everybody we've asked has accepted to do it. So, we're 12 of 12. With 12 former players that we asked, they've all done it. And we've actually had, we've had players call and say they're interested in doing it. So it's been a positive for us.
Awesome. Great idea, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's, the alumni have loved it, and our players have loved. The players have given us a lot of feedback with it, and they're around all the time. Our mentors are around all the time now. They feel wanted and welcomed, and they have a role. And I think they like having a role when they come back to campus.
Hey, Coach O'Brien, Steve Yarnell near Syracuse, New York. What are some of the things you do, let's say, to initiate your practice every day that would fall into continuing to build your trademark culture? Any special routines or anything, or during practice, stopping at any point, or?
Yeah, a couple of things that come to my mind. First, everyone who plays for us knows we're a hard work team. I love it was Coach Pringle, I think he had a T-shirt on. Richie, what does his T-shirt say? It was blue collar team or something.
Yeah,
his T-shirt said.
like yeah.
I love that. But yeah, we do have a culture of hard work. So when you come into the gym, you're working hard. But we do some things. We spend about 20 or 30 minutes every single day stretching and foam rolling. And during that time, I don't do a lot of meetings with the players individually in my office. I hardly do any. What I found works better for me. I rebound for guys and talk to them then, because one-on-one in the office, they're nervous or it's awkward. I rebound for them, and we have great conversations. I'm serving them. And if they don't want to talk and I just rebound for them, they're thankful I rebounded for them. And then when we're stretching and foam rolling, that's when I talk to the guys. While they're stretching and foam rolling every day for 20 minutes, I walk around and, either I'll tease somebody or I'll have a conversation about their classes or their family. And I didn't start doing the stretching and foam rolling. We did it for, physiological benefits, but I found that, it helps our program a lot for me to have that informal time to check in with them every single day.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks for the question, Coach.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks for letting me share. It's fun to share about our program. I'm proud of it. And thanks again for the opportunity and everybody listening.